All right, so this is question 12, right? And we do have two classes here. Although the other class is kind of bare bones, right? It's a public int data, so not really doing all too much. So we're probably not going to get a case where we can just easily go to D, right? So we're more than likely just going to have to start at main and progress our way towards the end of the program, right? So let's see what we do, right? We're just going to have this first line here. It's saying that we have a test object called T1, right? So type test. And since we don't actually have a constructor within this test class, we can just assume that the default constructor is going to be used, Java's default constructor, and it's just going to set everything equal to 0, right? So test data is going to be equal to 0, right? That's all it's going to do. And then on the next line, it says that we have another test object named T2 that exists in a separate space in memory, right? So it's a type test, and it also goes through the default constructor, which assigns all of T2's variables or pointers equal to either 0 or null, whichever is appropriate, right? So because there's only one field, I'm just gonna give them like this number will represent the data value of each object respectively, right? And because public, or I guess because data is public, we are allowed to do this, right? We can just directly modify the data of both of these objects, and they're both set to 7. All right, so that's these two lines done. Now here's, I guess, like where the bulk of the problem is, right? Or I guess, yeah, it wants us to print out this evaluation, I guess, like whether or not T1 is equal to T2, right? And what does that even mean for T1 to be equal to T2 using this operator? Well, what that means is that T1 and T2 share the same spot in memory. So I guess like the thing that T1 points to shares the same location as the thing that T2 points to, right? And just based off of the diagram, that can't be true, right? T1's all the way over here. He's pointing to this block in memory, and T2 is all the way over here, right? Don't pay the numbers any mind, right? They have nothing to do with this. This equality operator just wants to know, is this object the same as this object? As in, are they literally the same object, right? And clearly not. These guys are their own objects. They're of type test, sure, but they're in different memory locations. So this would return false. Now, if you're wondering when that would return true, right? Instead of T2 pointing to this object over here on the right, it would have to point to the same object, right? Because now the thing pointed by T1 is in the same memory location as the thing pointed to by T2. In other words, they're pointing to the same object. If this were the case, then this would return true, right? It would print true. But it's not the case, right? T2 points to this block over here, right? So I cannot say that the memory location of the thing being pointed to by T1 is the same as the memory location as the thing being pointed to by T2. So this is going to print out false. This should be lowercase, right? So we would go with false. And of course, we can go ahead and check this. And yeah, the correct answer would be false. I'll see you in the next video.